violations. Violations of physical media, touching physical media, but we'll get the countdown started. Touch me. What's up, guys? This is Juan with the Cine-Men Movie Podcast, letting you know that this episode is brought to you by San Marcos Mexican Restaurants, located right here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, at 2301 Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City. Go ahead and give them a call as well for to-go order 405-685-7773. Great food and even better customer service. They treat you like family. Mention that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you in and get 10% off your entire purchase. And don't forget $5 Margarita Wednesdays. Great food, better service, and of course, let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you.
You like that, old man? You want a piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do? You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
There's no crying in baseball. This is wrong, bitch. Hey, the Schwartz be with you.
I am the father.
At you, my pretty.
Take your stinking paws off me.
May the force be with you.
Here's Johnny.
What up, film fans? Happy Tippy Top Tuesday. You're listening to a new episode 345, The Importance of Physical Media. Welcome to a new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew, the fellas. Nick, what's up, man?
What's happening, bros? Good to be back. And this is one of my favorite topics, by the way. I'm also representing Nick's Right Podcast, so thank you guys for having me on.
Zach?
I'm curious where you found Tippity Top. Well, that could be a whole episode on itself.
It is, man. You don't want to know. Jay, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm here.
I'm here.
Yesterday was my birthday. I kind of celebrated, got a little bit too drunk, and I'm kind of still celebrating a little bit, if you know what I mean. So
we can't see you right now.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to be on the screen. I'm afraid that.
Well, happy late birthday to Jay, everybody. Welcome to another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. If you guys were not with us last week, we urge you to go back and listen to the conversation that we had all about A Time to Kill last week. Our Matthew McConaughey of the year continues. We're dedicating the entire year to Matthew McConaughey, including an episode a month. And then 1 month this year will be all 4 movies about Matthew McConaughey. But if you have not checked it out, go back and listen. You can listen wherever you listen to podcasts at. All of our links are in our social medias. Facebook.com/The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Instagram is all one word, The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. X is at Cinemen405. Or you can send us a good old-fashioned email at cinemen921@gmail.com. And there you can send us recent watches, some recommendations. You can even request an episode. We'll pick a movie that you want to choose, and we've done that before. So hit us up on social medias. But other than that, guys, what a week it's been. It feels like it's been forever since we've sat back and talked an episode. Before we get into the subject matter of physical media, Zach, let's start with you, man. Did you check anything out recently? Do you have any recent recommendations for anybody listening or watching?
Yeah, so last week was the Daredevil Born Again season, well, I guess mid-season finale on Disney Plus. Sets it up for a really interesting part 2 for next year. I saw The Amateur yesterday with the Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne movie. It was all right. I think we could have. It's like 2 hours. I think we could have cut like 30 minutes out and did like an hour and a half film. It would have been pretty good. Next week's episode, Sinners. Go check it out. It's going to be a real fun conversation. And then last night I saw the devastatingly heartbreaking episode 2 of The Last of Us of season 2. Oh, it is brutal. If you played the game, I think you had an idea of what was coming. But
is
it's
it
gonna.
episode 2 where it happens?
Yep.
Okay.
Jay knows what I'm talking about then.
Yes.
But it's gonna set it up for an interesting rest of the season. So
That was
Nice.
pretty quick though.
That was pretty quick. It's been
so
a fun
I would
week.
recommend.
Oh, go ahead. I thought you were done.
No, I was gonna say go check out The Last of Us on Max it up, and then go check out Sinners for next week's episode.
I I had the week off, so I was able to go check some fun stuff out. I went and seen. I finally sat through Dances with Wolves. For the first time, I was like, I'm on vacation. It's 4 hours long. Let me try to knock this thing out. I did do the director's cut. It was really good. I checked out Sinners, getting ready for next week's episode as well. I'm going through a Quentin Tarantino phase right now, so I just got done with Reservoir Dogs. I will continue that on as we go. I did check out Minecraft and Warfare as well. Some pretty good watches in theaters.
What do you think about Warfare?
I thought Warfare was one of the greatest war movies I've ever seen.
That's the common consensus from everyone who comes out of that movie. And
Man,
I'm like, I need to see this movie.
Yeah, man, Warfare is stupendous. You're on the edge of your seat, even when it's slow, because you know something's going to pop off at any time.
Oh yeah,
and then just to know that the movie also causes anxiety there in a few scenes, and then just knowing that this movie is like based off of a true story, and the way it was shot beautifully, the sound was amazing. Definitely a movie you want to go check out in the theater. So
got it. Okay.
Warfare, probably one of the few movies this year that I've already given a 5. So yeah.
Nice. All right.
And then yeah.
Grapevine. So
Sinners was okay, and then Minecraft was interesting, kind of funny. So if I had to go check it, Warfare though they're getting ready to pull that out of the movie theater though, so I would probably go try to check that out this week. Sinners will be in there for a little bit longer. So will Minecraft. So, Jay, what about you, man? You check anything out you want to recommend?
I also checked out Sinners. Evidently, I was kind of hammered and I passed out halfway through the movie without realizing it, and woke up during a spooky part. Like, oh, okay, and I'm back now. But what I did see of it, I highly recommend it. I am going to go back and rewatch it before the review next week. Yep. I also went and watched Warfare, and I enjoyed it. For the first 30 minutes or so, I'm not going to lie to you, I was kind of bored with it in a weird way, but it was set up. It was setting all these different soldiers up for when the time came when they got bombarded and got hammered home. It was like, okay, now I get, but at the beginning, I was just kind of, it was just me. There was nothing wrong with the movie. It was completely me that was bored. I've been going through the James Bond movies. I'm on Gold. I went through Goldfinger, which wasn't too bad. And what's the next one? Tomorrow You Only Live Twice. Or Thunderball. Oh my God, I had to sit there and watch that one like 6 different times to get through that thing. There are the old early James Bonds are very rapey. James Bond is very rapey. Like, holy hell, is he rapey?
Rapey? Is that a word that it sounds like what I think it is. Is that what it is?
Oh, dude, there's like one scene where he just grabs a chick, starts making out, and she slaps him, and he just forces her to have sex with him. I'm like, okay,
wow.
Bond is just a straight rapist. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
And then I also done Minecraft, but I visited the bar during Minecraft. And
you were crafting something else, sir.
I was later told after the fact that I ordered food and I had multiple drinks and I don't remember the movie whatsoever. So Minecraft was amazing.
When we mentioned Jack Black, you had another Jack in mind, sir.
Exactly, I did. I had a Jack and Coke in my hand.
Great,
But,
but you don't remember any of it.
I don't. The only part I remember is the damn the chicken spot where the chicken jockey. I was alert enough to remember that spot. And if you don't know
I haven't
anything
seen the
about
movie yet, so yeah.
well, there's this whole part in the movie where a chicken comes on and a Frankenstein-looking creature's on his back, and Jack Black screams "Chicken Jockey," and people in theaters have been throwing popcorn, drinks at the screen, just going ape shit when this scene comes on.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but out of all those, I'd recommend Sinners. What I've ever seen of it, Warfare is real good, and Goldfinger wasn't too bad. And I've been watching The Connors.
Yep. Yeah, series finale this Wednesday.
That's exactly why I have been watching it, because Roseanne's been a part of my life since I was like 10 years old.
Nick, what about you, man? Nicholas, thank you for joining us, by the way, live on Facebook, Emasawa Productions YouTube channel, and wherever you listen to podcasts at. But Nicholas, what have you checked anything out that you might want to recommend anybody?
Yeah, you brought up Warfare, and I've been on this rewatching binge. Like I'm going back and rewatching some stuff just because I feel like everything that's coming out now. That's why I want to go see Warfare. Everything has some kind of agenda in it. Like Hollywood just can't get away from that. So I went back and rewatched The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah.
It's a good movie.
Dude, man, I don't know why
Underrated.
way underrated. Like I remember when I first saw it, and I really related to the scene where the guy was pushing him up the hill, and then he came into like a rut, and he had no strength, and he just sat there and just, I mean, it felt like everything was coming down on top of him. The whole world was, but like every man does, he's like, screw it, I've got to get up this hill, and so he just sucked it up and he got up the hill. But you could see the turmoil on his face. And I'm like, man, I need to get it connected with that actor. That actor was fantastic. But just the whole movie, like, man, it was so good.
Guy Ritchie movie too.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Wait, who did he play?
He directed it.
He's a director.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Madonna's ex-husband.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, that's not the guy who played in The Boys, and then he was also Parker in The Covenant. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't.
No.
I'm not good with names. I'm good with characters, but I'm not good with names.
There we go.
So it was that was a most recent watch, and of course, you can't see it on behind me, but I'm on the last episode of rewatching Cobra Kai.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
are you looking forward to the new Karate Kid?
Oh yes, like I've been watching these last few episodes, and I'm like, gosh, this is gonna be good. Like, some of the choreography's cheesy. It's karate because karate doesn't work unless the other person knows it.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like it actually is like this in real life. Because I'm an MMA as well, so like you don't sit there and block anything, bro. You throw punches, you try to cover up as much as you can, but it's not gonna be that tight when it comes to the landing of blows and blocking of blows and all that other stuff. But it makes for a great story because I do note that these karate competitions go on in real life, but they're not that, polished. So it's just cool to see the story, how, with me being a writer and a producer and an actor, just see the story unfold and how well it is. Because I'm sitting here and it's the second time I've seen it, and I'm like, I'm getting teared up. And, the scene between Johnny and Kreese at the very end, whenever they finally have that last powwow, and then how Kreese freaking saves the day. Like, come on. So it was.
I haven't seen the show, but I know that he does sacrifice himself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run it for
you. No. I will eventually get to the show, but it's not one of those must watch.
Yeah.
But I did see an interview where he was like, I didn't know which way they were going to go, but they went this way, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad.
Are you Johnny? Are you going to do a franchise binge before the new one comes out?
I am. I'm going to at least watch the first 3, and then the Will Smith one.
No. Watch the first 3, then watch Cobra Kai, then watch the Will Smith one, then go see the new one.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
How many seasons?
The next Karate Kid.
How many seasons of Cobra Kai? 6?
There's 6.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, they first 2 seasons were on YouTube, and then Netflix picked it up, and the last 4 seasons were on Netflix. And you
But
can
aren't they like
tell
8 to
because
10
Netflix doesn't
episodes?
care. So like they went from saying GDs and can I cuss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
GDs and pussy and all that kind of stuff, and then they just upgraded season
To
3.
Netflix.
Shut the fuck up,
Oh.
so
Netflix language, yeah.
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 Aren't there like 8 to 10 episodes per season though?
Except for the last season, which I think they upgraded to like 14, 15.
Okay. So
Yeah.
see, it's a pretty quick show to get into.
Oh yeah, I've when I'm rewatching it, I've watched it in I think a span of 4 or 5 days.
Mm.
So like yeah, it's easy.
Speaking of Netflix, speaking of YouTube, HBO Max, Paramount Plus. This is the episode where we're talking physical media, and those are the forefathers of the people that we want to stay away from. Even though those streaming companies are taking money out of my account every single month,
Probably right now.
right now as we speak. This is what this episode is all about. We're talking physical media, and guys, let's dig into it. I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything before we get our fingers wet. But we're going all in, guys. And I can't wait, especially with some of the recent stuff that's been going on. Some of the physical media and DVD sales have kind of skyrocketed depending on where you're living. But it's also kind of crashed also depending on the market that you're in.
Yeah.
So, Zach, usually what we do is we'll conversate a movie and we'll go around and say first time you've seen it compared to the recent time for the podcast. We're not reviewing a movie today. So, Zach, tell me why physical media is important to you.
Oh,
sorry to put you on the spot, but you probably knew what I was going to do anyway.
No, it's fine. You have a gun, can't see off screen, so it's fine. I think physical media, what it means to me is the idea that you, as a collector, it's something that you look forward to, especially, and I'll explain that once we get further into the show. But something that you can just collect over the years and look back on and be like, oh yeah, I'm proud I have that. I'm proud I own that. I'm proud that I don't have to go look. If I want to watch The Hunger Games, I can just pop it in right then and there. I don't have to go hunting for something. But it's also something that it's kind of like a library of memories, if you really want to think about it. Like, oh, these are all the movies I saw in the theater. These are the ones that meant to me as a kid. These are the ones that I may have not liked in the beginning when I first saw it, but then gave it a second chance and rewatched it and said, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." So it has a variety of different meanings, and we'll get into it. But I think it's severely threatened in this day and age. So
I'm going to go right off hand, just quick, and then we'll go on to Nick. Mine is going to be ownership. Knowing how many I have behind me, the thousands and thousands. I think the last time I checked, I'm like in the 4,200s. But who's keeping track?
My gosh, you should open up your own.
He has a golden notebook that he writes all his movies.
Well, hey,
on.
I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's just some of them.
Yeah,
but
I see it. I didn't know it was 4,200.
Are those? I've been to your house. Is that all the shelves, or is there some in the living room still?
Well, nope. There's also some. There's some above. There's some below. It's everywhere in between, all at once.
Tracks.
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to say that it's the ownership for me. It's the fact that if I want to watch something, I don't have to look for it with the remote. I can physically. I might have to get up off my ass and look for it and physically grab it. But the fact that it's just in an arm's reach and I don't have to leave my house, my internet can go out and I don't have to worry about not wanting to watch something. Yeah. It's the ownership for me. And it's always been about the ownership for me. The fact that, a company made something for $100 million and I was able to own it for just $25 or less. To me, that always means more than, the memory is there too, Zach. I like how you explain that. The memories and stuff are there too, but for me, it's all about the ownership, that I can physically touch it. And, if you guys, we'll cover it, but if it's in your library on like Vudu, you still, even if you paid for it, you still don't own that. They can take that away. And some movies, some movies have disappeared off of some people's Vudus and stuff, even mine.
What
So
you're paying for on Voodoo is a licensing right.
yeah. So, but that's what physical media means to me. Nick, what about you, man? What is physical media?
I feel like I want to play devil's advocate here because,
Let's go.
well, look, how old are you guys?
34.
Okay, am I the oldest one here?
33.
43.
How old are you, Jay?
43.
Okay, you're 1 year older than me. So we're I grew up with VHS. Like right now, I believe the biggest benefit to owning, like you said, is if you have like the big titles or even the limited collector's editions. The biggest benefit is because those are going to be worth money someday, like 30 years down the road, as long as you keep them in pretty good order. I have 3 VHSs, technically 4, 3 movies that are in boxes over here that are taped up and they're padded up and everything because one of them is the original VHS for Titanic.
Oh, wow.
Double
Mhm.
VHS,
Yep.
still in its plastic wrapping.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm like, that's gonna be worth money someday. Like they just had their
Get those
25th
rated.
anniversary. We just wait for the 30th anniversary, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
So graded now.
Yeah. So that's my biggest like when it comes to advantage because I love the convenience of being able to like if I own the movie, just search it up. Let's go ahead and pop it in and just keep playing it, and I can do it on any device. Having to have a player when it comes to Xbox or DVD player or something like that. When I graduated from that, because I used to be like you guys when it comes to collecting all the DVDs, I didn't have 4,200. My gosh, that is a lot. But
telling
I
you,
commend you.
I'm telling you, Nick, we need to reach out to Blockbuster, see if we could revitalize.
Dude, just take the LLC and just create your own store. I'm pretty sure you can make a pretty good living there in Oklahoma. They're old school anyway.
Hey, it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
You've been waiting for that for 3 years to say that.
So when it comes to like having the physical media, I used to be that same way. But whenever I graduated from physical media to owning it just on like I own all of my movies on one device and I can look it up on any device as long as I log in with my Apple ID. It's just a convenience for me.
Oh, yeah.
And with all the traveling that I did, like hands down, because I know I get really flat for the whenever I, especially long distance, and it's on the highway. I'm watching TV. I'm sorry. Okay. Because it's a lot of open nothingness and the blue light from your screen actually keeps you awake.
Yep.
So that's why they tell you not to look at it before you go to bed. So I've had plenty of long stretches, like 200-mile stretches of just open highway where if it wasn't for me, just kind of glancing down at the movie and something that can kind of keep me awake during the night while I'm driving. I think the first time I did that was the Wolverine, which was not it's one of the last ones, but the Wolverine where he went to Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get to you, Jay, I do like that bring up too. The convenience is a big thing. I like physically touching them, owning them. Don't get me wrong. I still have a digital library too. But Jay, what about you? What does physical media mean to you?
Physical media means to me I grew up in that era of ownership, like you said, and I created a memory and a moment when I bought that physical media. I remember being, young enough to go to a store, buying Batman on VHS, buying the Ninja Turtles on VHS. Those are.
You still have those?
I don't, unfortunately.
See, that's the thing. If you had those,
I lost a lot of that stuff in a house fire when I was younger.
Man, I'm sorry.
And like I bought the mask. I went out and personally pre-ordered the mask at Blockbuster for $14.99, and I got it. It's those things like that.
Yeah.
That physical media gives me pleasure with is that I have something tangible to hold in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I have a physical memory in my head. And anytime I hold that box, whether it be a DVD case, a VHS box, whatever, those memories come flooding back to me. When I bought it, when I purchased it, the first time I seen it, certain scenes in the movie, and just experiences around that movie. But I'm also on that same edge of I do love the convenience of a digital library. I am a big voodoo whore.
Oh yeah. I have a
I
question for all of you when it comes to this. Like, when it comes to when you say I love the physicality or the physical ones, when you hear the word physical copy, what's the first movie that comes to your mind?
Mine
The
would
God,
probably be Batman or Ninja Turtles.
Okay, okay.
I'm being
mine would
dead.
mine would probably be the Godfather trilogy, just because I have four different sets of each trilogy, and they all mean something different.
Wow, that's awesome.
When you when you mean Nicholas, when you mean like physical, just like a movie that you have on physical.
Well, it's just because whenever I hear you guys say I love the physical, every time I think of a physical copy of a movie, there's one movie that comes straight forward to the front of my mind, and so I was just wondering what it was for you guys.
I should have brought that in here. It's in the other room. Public Enemies. It was my very first Blu-ray when Blu-rays first came out.
Oh, way back, yeah.
Johnny
It
Depp.
still has like it actually still has like the slip cover to it as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So-
mine's
see,
Van
I'm-
Helsing with Hugh
Oh.
Jackman.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah.
I'm also from that era, as you are, Nick, as well. When we sit there talking about physical media, we're not also talking about just movies. We're
Mm-mm.
talking about CDs,
Oh, dude.
records,
Cassettes.
video games. Yes, video
Yeah.
games. You know, everything's converting to digital now. You don't own shit now. You
Yeah.
own a license, and
Yeah.
I want that disc. I want that physical media. I want to own that particular item in its physical form because
We can
you
even
never
talk.
know when
Go ahead.
that item's going to go away on a digital format.
Well, that's you should, and I recommended this specific documentary. It's not a docu-series; it's a documentary to Juan. It's called Side by Side is what it's called. Side by Side. And it's hosted by
Yes.
Keanu Reeves.
I've seen that.
Yeah, dude. That was the going from film to digital war in like Hollywood directors if they were actually going to make the transition. And it was actually George Lucas that led the charge when it comes to going digital. So
There's an episode of The Hot Ones. I don't know if you guys have seen that show before.
I have.
And different celebrities gather around and eat, 10 of the spiciest wing sauce. Anyway,
Yeah.
Matt Damon was on that episode a few years ago, and he said that the DVD business was huge for actors and for directors and for the movie business. Like it was, 60% of their sales, 50% of their sales.
It was a second life for their film.
Yeah. And I think it's still kind of maybe the same, but he said that the money wise, it has just been it's taken a big drop because that is no longer like the biggest income.
It's no longer a lifeline of like maybe it'll do better on DVD because now it goes to streaming. And I don't know if you guys know about streaming contracts, but what happens is like if I go to Lionsgate, because we've already had a conversation with Lionsgate about putting a lot of their library on our streaming service, and they were going to sell us like these big names, John Wick, Twilight, like big blockbuster movies, just a huge list of them. And they were going to say, 200 titles for, $200,000 for the year.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, 200 titles, blockbuster movies for 200,000 for a year.
Yeah.
That means that whoever's on that streaming service can watch it anytime they want, just for, convenient $11, $15 a month. So compare that to whenever it comes out with the way it used to work is it would be 125 days from when the movie left the theater. That's how long it would take to go to DVD.
Yep.
And so people were waiting in with anticipation because they hadn't seen these clips. That was before social media had movie clips or something like that. That way, because I'll come across a movie clip on TikTok and I'll be like, oh, you're watching a movie, so good. And there was nothing like that. So they just had anticipation of like, man, I really want to get this DVD. I want to own this movie, kind of like how we used to do in the past. So
kind of like how Star Wars back in the day, in order to watch Star Wars back in the day, you bought an 8mm film version of it. And it wasn't even a complete film. It was an 8mm 20-minute version of the movie. And that was considered, your Star Wars fix.
Yeah.
And and then later on when VHS and Betamax came out, you had you can go and buy your movies for $120. And those were and that was 1980 money and 70 money, 100, you go buy
like
Beverly Hills
$2,000 today.
Yeah, you go buy Terminator 2 when it came out, it was $99.99 at Blockbuster to buy, and people were buying it left and right.
Yeah,
because it was Terminator 2.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason. I watched this movie. It was a stupid movie. It was Hudson Hawk. Have you guys seen?
Bruce Willis.
Yes, the one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. But I don't know. That was made sometime in
91,
the
92.
early '90s. It had a budget of $64 million. $64 million for a stupid movie. Like stupid. I can guarantee you they didn't spend all that on production. Most of that went to the actors.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah.
right now they have I guess you can say like a format of movie making that they've always been used to because they could get away with it by making money back to be the theaters and DVDs and all this other stuff. They can't do that anymore because they're not making the kind of money that they used to make on streaming the way they did on DVD.
Well, back
So-
in the day, we had those direct-to-DVD movies where they take
Yeah.
5 to 7 million, maybe 10 at the most, and they would make direct-to-movie.
Direct to DVD, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we still
the
have
Ameri-
those.
The American Pie series lasted forever on that the National Lampoons.
Mhm.
You know what a
Right.
movie that came out like that, and I found out I didn't know about it until someone showed it to me, and I was like, "This is the greatest movie of the world." It was called Fanboys.
I love that movie.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that's a fantastic, and they had so many cameos in that movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is a fantastic movie. No,
No,
I own that one.
that's a great movie, dude. Like I
It is
would
now
own that one.
hard to it is now hard to find because it's out of print.
So let's
Oh.
talk. Yeah, let's talk about some of that stuff. Like, one thing that I missed about physical media was not just look forward to going and picking something up on Tuesday or finding something at a pawn shop. Like working and pretty much living at a physical media store like I did. I used to work at FYE for the longest time, and it was the midnight releases. Whether
Mhm.
whether it be like a big CD coming out, a big video game title, a big movie title. I remember 3 midnight releases right off the top of my head that I worked at, and that was Little Wayne's The Carter 3, The Dark Knight 2008, and then Grand Theft Auto 5. And those came out almost back-to-back years. And like midnight releases that would start at 10:30 and they would end at like 12:05. And like that's just some stuff you don't ever
You know-
see anymore.
Yeah.
I said the words midnight release to somebody the other day, and they looked like I was speaking Spanish to them.
Dude, I used to go to the theaters like that. That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
coolest thing to do. Like Thursday night, midnight release.
Yeah.
For the new Spider-Man coming out, and the only
Yeah.
game that I had that midnight release on that I attended as a purchaser, as a customer, was Halo 2.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah, dude,
I
I
don't-
stood in line.
I don't own a PlayStation 5, but the other day I was at Walmart. They had the Ninja Turtle Cowabunga collection, which has 13 games on it for $10. I bought it instantly.
Come on, dude, I'd buy that. Are you talking about like all the
Because-
old games?
Yeah, it has all the old NES games, the Game Boy games, the old Turtles in Time, the arcade games. They're all on there.
Oh yeah,
$10.
I'd buy that, and I would not come out of my hole for a week. Yeah,
But
Mhm.
but now, like, I mean, they still do the like almost not midnight releases of the movie in the theater, but like for
you
example,
you can download your movie or game by
Like-
midnight.
like Thursday morning, I'm gonna go see Until Dawn, and then I'm gonna go see like The Accountant on Thursday afternoon, and it's like they're all still there, but it's just like now they just do it way earlier in the day on
way
Thursday.
earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not special anymore. It used to be special. I mean, because I used to work at a movie theater. I've worked at 2 movie theaters, and I remember when no one could see a movie on Thursday night unless you actually worked at the theater, and they had to screen they had to screen the movie because they had to feed the film. They had to just put it properly.
Yeah,
we had to
to check the
screen it
rails.
to make sure it looked good. Yeah, so I miss those. So, like we would get our free popcorn and our free drinks, and we just sit there and stay to at the theater until 3 o'clock in the morning, just screening these movies.
I worked at a movie theater with Ed way back in the day, and we did that for the Wolverine. Actually, that you mentioned.
Oh yeah,
We did
baby.
that,
I did the premiere day on that when it comes up like opening day, and I dressed up as Wolverine. I have like because I used to have I had the Wolverine look, like I had a black beard. I did the mutton chops, and I have really good mutton chops, and I spiked the hair on the side, and I had the leather jacket, had the claws. It was great.
Well, it's funny you bring that up, Johnny, because it's like, I mean, that is in some way a physical media, and for people that like physical media, it's kind of an anticipation for that because I mean, you're right. If like when you know, episode 3, Star Wars Episode 3 is going to get a re-release this weekend for its 20th anniversary. 20 years ago, you literally had to wait till midnight to go see that. And now, you know, you can go Thursday at 1 o'clock to go see it, or like you said, The Accountant 2 or Until Dawn. There's something that we've lost in the idea of, like, I was talking to someone this weekend about Black Friday, how Black Friday is not even a thing anymore. It's like Black Month, like, you know, the sales go out there the entire month.
Yeah.
But people don't remember, you know, you had to wait till 1 o'clock in the morning to go buy a TV at Best Buy.
Dude.
Let's-
And
well,
really
now,
fought.
now that you brought that in, let's also take into account how bad COVID did mess up the physical media
Oh,
game.
yeah.
It did, yeah.
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 So it probably set physical media back. Maybe I'd say maybe by and the
Well-
writers strike didn't do anything to help anything either.
Before COVID,
Through the writers.
before COVID we had what they called a digital or pay-per-view window, where you had a limit, depending on how well the movie did in theaters. You know, that would be its theatrical release, and then it would have a video release. Say it would come out in March, and it wouldn't hit pay-per-view for 90 days, and that 90 days would sit there and alert the video company or the video store that, hey, for 90 days you're going to be able to make money off this title.
Yeah.
And then after that 90 days, it goes to pay-per-view, and then on to HBO, and then on to regular TV. That
Well,
format doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
Technically, it still kind of does.
It
'cause
doesn't
it's a lot
because
quicker.
It's
Dude,
well, it is
I've
a lot.
seen-
It is
I've
a lot
seen a
quicker. 'Cause-
copy of Novocaine that was a HD quality copy of Novocaine the same day it came out.
Well, I'm talking about like like Novocaine came out in theaters. It came out to rent on Vudu, and then after it has its little stretch on Vudu where you can rent it for $20, then
Yeah.
you can get it on physical media, and then after physical media, it goes to Peacock. So
Yeah.
it still somewhere has that line of coming out. It's just a lot quicker than 100
Well,
days.
exactly.
a more-
but
Yeah.
all that stuff happens within like 3 months, whereas before it used to happen within a year.
Well, and even to take it a step further, I think a more apt description or apt example is Companion. That movie came out late January.
Mm-hmm.
It hit Vudu and virtual or digital by February, and what came out in Blu-ray a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
And now it's on Max.
yep.
It was something that they had to figure out whenever COVID hit. You made a good point, Juan, because producers had movies coming out that they had to push and postpone and do all this other stuff. But there was a couple of producers who were like, no, we can make money off of this. There was an animated movie that came out during COVID that made like $300 million. And that's whenever they figured out the whole, let's make it rentable for $20.
Yeah.
I think that's Onward. Wasn't that Onward, the Disney Pixar movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They also did that with The Invisible Man.
Yep.
You could
And
either go,
Mulan.
you could either go see it in the theater, or you could pay $20 and just get it at home.
I
Yeah, and a
literally
lot of people are now
distinctly
opting
remember-
into that. They're just opting into just paying the $20 because you're going to be spending more than $20 going to the theater. I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
You could do
spending
like, you could do
$15 on the
HBO
ticket, then you're going to be buying all this food and concessions. But by the way, that's how theaters make their money is off the concessions.
Or you
Like,
could do like the HBO Max did, and just day and date. The same day it was released in theaters was the same time they put it on
Yeah.
HBO Max.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
which I
that
think
year.
is completely stupid as a producer because I'm like, dude, you're just shooting yourself. Because if I have the option of going to the theater or watching it free from Mac, I'm watching it free every
you
time.
just spent
They-
$250 million to make a new Matrix movie, and you're giving it away on Max.
Unless you're Christopher Nolan saying no, you will go to the theater and risk COVID to go see Tenet.
And that movie did well. Like it,
Yeah. I
It
did.
did what, like $500-600 million during COVID?
it did very well. And I think it's because he stood his ground. I'm like, good job, Chris.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But
Be
you
right
gotta,
back, guys.
but you got to remember, Johnny, you'll remember this. Like that year, 2021, we were doing Dune, we did Godzilla versus Kong, we did Mortal Kombat. Most of those Halloween kills, a lot of those we just watched it on Peacock and Max, and then did the episode.
Yeah.
I think we did go see Godzilla versus Kong in the theater and Dune, but still, I mean, it was. I mean, say what you will about that, but that was a hell of a deal. I mean, truthfully.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And
You know what movie I saw that was like, I'm so glad they came out with this because the theater version sucked. Was Justice League. The Zack Snyder version came out. It was
Yeah.
a 4-hour release. I'm
Yeah.
like, and I had to go to the bathroom like 2 or 3 times in the middle of it, but I just paused it, went to the bathroom,
Yeah.
came back.
And that's another thing I'm going to go out and point to. Like a few weeks ago, I did a Facebook Marketplace thing, and I am not a subscriber personally to HBO Max, but I'm like, man, I really want a physical copy of The Sopranos. You know, say what you will, I call it the greatest show ever made. I've seen it 3 different times, but it's just one of those things that, like, since I don't have Max, I want that physical copy of, like, I want The Sopranos. So, like, say what happens, like,
I
no
thought you
matter no, whatever happens, let's get back to, Nick, you're right. I do love the convenience of just clicking it, and it's right then and there. I am a huge Peacock user for a bunch of the TV shows that I don't own. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so all wrestling I need is on Peacock. So I do use some streaming services, but every now and again, and you guys are all Netflix users, you'll see it. It says leaving soon.
Yeah, no,
Or
that's always stupid. I
yeah.
can't. I can't.
So
I actually think that I actually like the leaving soon thing because it lets me know that I don't have long to watch it.
so it's just one of those things that, like, I do get inconvenienced, but I at least never have to be inconvenienced for the whole leaving soon thing.
It's very true. That's a good point because I remember when I see those leaving soon, I'm like, man, I need to watch this. Or sometimes I'll see it leaving soon, and I'm like, bye.
Yeah.
Because
no
it's
one
stupid.
cares.
Why weren't you gone sooner?
Or it's
Right.
it's one of those things that, like, it's leaving Netflix soon, but oh man, I see that it's going to be on MGM Plus in 3 weeks. Who's going to pay for MGM Plus when you already have
Nobody.
4 or 5 different?
Nobody.
See, my thing on the whole.
And then don't get me wrong. Like, a simple favor. I'm a huge chick flick thriller fan.
Yeah.
So a simple favor was really good, and that that came out physically. And now it's an Amazon Prime exclusive, and it's another simple favor. It's
I could have went and saw that tonight, actually, as an early screening.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in the morning. So it's one of those things that's like, now these streaming services are having exclusive movies to just their streaming service.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember when it was a big deal that streaming services were it was considered blasphemy that any of these movies were being shown in the theaters. It was like, we don't want your streaming movies in our movie theaters. Now it's like, some of the biggest movies coming out nowadays are Netflix and Apple TV movies. It's like, it's weird how the dynamic is shift.
Well, they finally figured out a way to send the bigger blockbusters to the theater and to Netflix in some way that makes it work. But I think the theater has switched to more of it's not necessarily where they make the bulk of their money anymore. It's more of an advertising type of thing,
Well, and that's the thing, because I mean, like, Sinners, we're going to talk about that next week. It did really well this weekend, but by the time Mission Impossible Reckoning comes out, it could already be on Max since it's Warner Brothers. It just the line of it, the time that a movie has in a theater is nowhere near what it was. I mean, you look at the last couple weeks: Snow White, Drop, Warfare.
I'm sorry.
All those. I mean, I know you. I mean, it is a joke, but I mean, like, all those movies are almost out of the theater. I mean,
yeah.
But don't get me wrong. You know who benefits from that is it's going to be the person who doesn't go to the theater, and hey, I have all those streaming services, but it's also the physical media collector, because they're like, I don't have to go to the movies and spend money to see it the opening weekend, spend money on concessions. I can wait. Guess what? I can wait 3 months, if that, and I can physically have a copy that I can watch anytime in the comfort of my own home.
I just rewatched all those.
Yeah.
See, I grew up in an era, and I'm sure Nick, Nick did as well, that a movie could be in theaters sometimes a year.
Yeah.
The longest I saw was 6 months, but you're right. It can, like, if they do well, they'll leave them in the theater.
Because I remember
keep banging that money.
I remember the original Home Alone being opening. I remember that opening in like November of 1990, and by 1991, it was in the middle of the winter. It was just now hitting the dollar theater.
There you go.
And that's another thing that we haven't talked about, is that the second run theaters, before they even hit VHS.
They don't
They had
exist
the first
anymore.
run,
Yeah.
and then you had your
Yeah.
second run theaters, and then you
That's
had your
that's
VHS.
that's more of a theater episode kind of talk.
But
It's still physical media, like because,
because it talks about that window of opportunity of when you're going to get your physical media.
yeah.
Well, I remember, and Jay, you probably described it the best. But in my mind, like, let's take for example the first the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. That movie came out in May.
Great
and
movie, by the
May
way.
2001.
Great. It was a great
Yep.
movie.
Or 2002, I'm sorry.
2002, yeah, May 2002. It stayed in theater from what I remember thinking about the whole process. And like you said, Nick and Jay, you probably summarized it better than I did. The movie was released in May. It stayed in theaters probably till, I would say, probably September, October. And then you would wait another like 6 months before it hit DVD or physical media.
Yeah.
And then another year and a half before it got on cable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Now that's how
then you had to wait another year, maybe 2, maybe 5 years before it ended up on network TV.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a long process. I missed that process, to be honest with you.
It does, and it's something you look forward to. I mean, truthfully,
things nowadays. It doesn't matter if whether it's music, video games, movies, anything. Everything is just so light speed nowadays.
Yeah.
To where back in the day, we could sit there and have a song last us 2 years, and we'd love it for 2 years, and it'd be the hippest shit ever. And now, within like 24 hours, that song is shit. We don't care anymore.
And ironically enough, that's why I don't really listen to mainstream media music anymore, because that's just how fast the music industry flies.
I go back to old stuff. Like I still go back to old stuff and listen to old stuff.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift put out like 5 albums in like 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, give it a rest.
Yeah.
She did that. I'm not trying to say I'm a Taylor Swift fan, but
I am.
She re-recorded her music so that you know what I mean. So
to get the rights back. Yeah.
Speaking of stuff like that, like speaking of like re-releases and director's cuts. Now we're at a point where Best Buy backed out, Target backed out. There's no other huge physical media seller other than Walmart and local, and local like places. Vintage
Hold
stock.
on. Did you just say Best Buy and Target backed out of?
They don't sell movies anymore.
They don't sell
what?
You can legit go in there and not find a video game or movie one in Best Buy or Target.
Yep.
I thought they still sell video games. They don't do that anymore.
No, they still sell video games.
Okay, never mind.
It's not movies.
They don't sell movies anymore.
Ridiculous.
But they sell vinyl.
That's still so stupid. Like, we gotta go like 20 years into the future whenever it's so obsolete that they want to bring it back.
Yeah.
No. It's funny you bring that up, Johnny, because literally a year ago, last year, Best Buy stopped selling DVDs and Blu-rays. Yep.
I haven't stepped foot inside of a Best Buy since December 2023.
The last time I remember going to Best Buy was to buy a copy of WWE 2K19 with AJ Styles on the cover.
Last time I went to Best Buy was 3 weeks ago.
The fact that physical media, and we could really have a debate about this. That's how much it's on the verge of extinction. The fact that these mainstream stores like Target, Best Buy,
hold on a minute. It's not on the verge of extinction.
I don't think.
I think it is.
It's not. But continue.
It'll become a niche product.
Because have you seen like some of the sales of between like Walmart's main sale focus is that little electronic spot in between the grocery and the like tool section. Yeah, because that is like in their top 3, and they're pushing out like continuously.
That's probably where they have the most theft too.
Yeah, Walmart exclusives. Like not to mention all the criterion that just continues to pour out.
Walmart sells a shit ton of television shows.
They do. Yeah. A lot of the Walmarts now, you can go in the movie aisle and have you can get like the big box sets of different type of shows.
There's one box set I'm looking at right now, but I'm not willing to pay the $100 price tag. I want to buy the Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
Star
let's
Trek
go,
box set.
bro. Let's go.
But the
And
$100 price tag scares me. You know
How
what
many
I mean?
seasons? That's nine. No,
Nine.
7 seasons.
There's
9 seasons.
there's 7. You're right. There's 7.
Okay, 7 seasons. So there's 7
Seven.
seasons of that, 7 seasons of Voyager, and then like 8 seasons of Next Gen,
No,
right?
there's 7 of each.
Okay.
Johnny, you'll appreciate this. Last time I was
Three
in,
of the original generation.
last time I was in Barnes and Noble, they literally have you when you go in the movie section, they have the Criterions, and then they literally created an A24 section.
Yeah.
So back to back.
Nice.
and let's talk about that, because there are movie studios out there who are like A24 who are doing exclusive like digibooks. Like
Yeah.
they're doing their exclusive like packaging. You can get them at Walmart and other places, but they're selling them on their website. I can find them at Walmart for like $10 cheaper. But like, yeah, like
Their
A-
digibooks are weird though.
A24 is putting out their own physical media, and
That's cool.
it's forcing physical media collectors to buy more physical media. And it's
Oh,
you know
yeah.
it's not a bad price. It looks really good,
Is it a
and
weird
it's
thing
also
is it a weird thing that you can go to Walmart and buy a vinyl record, but you can't buy a CD?
there's CDs at Walmart.
There's still CDs at Walmart, yeah.
Okay, well, I evidently I don't pay
Okay.
attention to this shit.
Yeah.
But
I
see
don't
a lot
either.
of the-
Like,
I
as soon as
see a
they came
lot
out
of
with the
vinyl.
MP3 player, I was like, bet, let's go. I don't have to carry around this book of whole freaking CDs anymore.
I still did. I still did because I had one of those tape decks that you put the tape deck in your car as a portable CD player.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
had-
yeah.
I had
I had one of those too, man. I'm with you, bro. I grew up in like I was born in '82, so I'm with
So was
you.
I.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Wait, you were born in '82?
April of '82. Yep.
So you're April,
April
and I'm
21st.
in November. Okay, so you just turned 40.
Yesterday. Yes.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Ah!
Yep.
Happy birthday, bro. Happy late birthday.
Thank you, mate.
so yeah, I
turned
mean like
43 in November.
going in and like touching and just going
Are
through.
you touching? What?
I'm
Stop.
touching the movies, man. I'm touching the movies. Do you guys have
touch
like
that physical. You know what I love? Okay, speaking of physical,
Are you holding a Jack and Coke right now?
he is?
He is.
actually,
Yeah.
I actually have my vape cart with indica, and I have a cup of Jim Beam 90 proof.
Gosh.
And okay, we talked about this earlier. I don't know, Nick, about you, but I know Juan has. Zach, I hope you have. But we all have a movie collection. Do you guys ever sit there in front of your movie collection and just look at your movies, look at the front case, look at the back case, and just play the movie in your head?
Oh,
Yeah.
I do that without looking at the movies. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things I can't describe the feeling of just being able to sit there and be like, oh, look, I'm going to look at my copy of Scream. And while you're looking at the cover and the back cover and everything, you've basically rewatched the movie in your brain because it just means that much to you.
Well, yeah, I do that with movies that I've watched several times, but
So do
I also have that kind of memory that doesn't if I don't watch a movie for like 5 years, I'll go back and rewatch it after that, and it'll be like a watching
like a first time?
Yeah, and that's that. I'm glad my brain kind of works that way. So,
Mine does too.
But I watch Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit at least once a year.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
extended versions only.
Get this. I found the extended versions of the Lord of the Rings at a pawn shop, all 3 of them for $10.
Dude, that's
for the
awesome.
Entire set.
Did you get like the big thick ones with the sleeves and everything?
Yes,
Nah, dude, hang on to those.
Oh, seriously, I have. Speaking of physical media, I just bought Eureka the other day. I don't know if you've ever heard of that show.
No.
That's a fun little game to play. So you just bought Eureka.
Eureka is about Eureka is a show about a town that is used for government test. It's a government test city.
You had me at that town government, and I'm like, okay, I'm in.
It's basically a show where a town that they run all these scientific experiments, and every episode is what happens if one of these scientific experiments goes wrong? How do they correct it?
Yeah.
It was a sci-fi show. So
It sounds like I would be very into it. When was it made?
Mid
2010.
2000s.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not too long ago.
No.
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 I remember the promos for that. Wasn't that on ABC or something like that?
Sci-fi.
Are y'all watching any current TV shows?
Like
Old school network TV shows?
I'm watching the most current show I'm watching right now is The Connors.
Yeah, the Connors.
Okay. I'm watching The Rookie. I can't get enough of The Rookie. I don't know why, but I like Nathan Fillion, man. Let's go.
Well, he's gonna be Guy Gardner in a couple months.
Yeah.
Is that who's playing Guy?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, now I'm really excited about that movie. I was all excited that they're doing it old school, like old school DC.
Bright colors again.
Yeah.
I think Nathan Fillion is in every James Gunn movie. So
speaking of Nathan Fillion, I found for $10 at Vintage Stock the other day, and I bought physical media. Since we're talking physical media, I bought the entire Firefly series
for $10
on Blu-ray.
Dude, great thing about that is that TV show did not get popular until like years after they canceled it.
That's like a huge cult classic.
It is an amazing show.
I agree.
Zach, what's the latest thing you might have purchased?
Latest.
I spent about $300 the other day. So.
Gosh, you're like $10 for this, $10 for this, and you go up.
Oh, dude, oh shit! I almost bought Briscoe County Jr.
Gosh,
I don't know if you remember that show.
Vaguely.
It's got Bruce Campbell in it. He plays a cowboy.
Oh, Zach.
Fox. Sorry.
I think the last thing that I bought was I think it was Nosferatu on Blu-ray. I'm looking for, because I know Walmart has it. They have, and Nick and Jay, you might remember this show. I grew up in this era, but they have the complete series of Courage the Cowardly Dog at Walmart.
I never watched that show.
I never watched it either. Yeah,
I did hear a weird theory that the old man and woman are dead.
Oh yeah, that's been like a running theory forever. Yeah.
Okay, here I did.
I think the last thing I bought, I think, was, where's it at?
Probably Mufasa.
Gladiator and the
was that a dig?
Gladiator 2 and the Brutalist.
Okay.
Oh, did you buy the Brutalist?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It's the one with Adrian Brody where he just won Best Actor for it.
Yeah.
Oh, a newer movie. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it yet.
Nick, what about you?
The most recent physical,
and it doesn't even have to be a movie. It can be like a CD.
No, it's a movie, but it's do you remember the VHS diamond packaging for the Disney movies?
Yeah.
I just bought one limited edition, one regular edition at a thrift store. One still had the packagking on it, one didn't. Wow. But I bought him. I knew the guy. He gave them to me for free. He's like, just give me 10% of what you make off of them. I was like, man. So I got the Titanic one I told you about, and those two movies at the same time, and I boxed them up, packaged them up, and just put them in a corner.
Those Diamond Edition Disney ones, they go for like a lot, don't they?
They can, but
they're in good condition,
right? But it also has to be, you have to find the right collector, because I did look it up, eBay or whatnot. And I even contacted Gold, the Gold Standard, the guy who has a Netflix TV show about selling collectibles, and they said that because of the volatility of some are on eBay for $15 and some are on eBay for $1,500, there's no necessary value that they could actually put it on their site for their collectors.
I'm also a very believer. Have you guys seen, Zach, help me with the name probably, but it's the recent disaster movie with Julia Roberts on Netflix?
Oh gosh, that's a stupid movie.
About
the computer hack, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, with Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let me look it up. I can hear you.
At the end of the world or something like that.
Leave the world behind. Yeah.
So I'm also hold on a minute. Before you say that, I am also an ad believer that at the end of that movie where she puts that episode of Friends in, that's me at the end of the movie, because I'm in a bunker. I don't need internet. I got my DVD player or my Blu-ray player, and I got my movies. if that's how my life can end, hey, I'm okay.
Is it really you though? So would you actually be putting Friends in the DVD player?
Hell
I
no.
would, yeah.
It'd be The Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Mine would be
speaking
Big
of-
Bang Theory.
there you go,
Nice.
Walt. There you go. There's a physical purchase that you made just a couple days ago. You bought the entire series of Sopranos
Sopranos,
for
yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through real quick, and since everybody's talking about some of the physical media they bought, I bought quite a few. I'm gonna just name a few off. I bought the Power Rangers movie collection. It came with the
Let's go.
It came with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Turbo the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
I bought Beethoven 1, 2, and 3. It was a 3-pack with all 3 of them.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow.
Eureka.
Beethoven
classic,
the dog, right?
Yes, the dog.
Yes.
Yes, with Charles Grodin. I bought a Christmas variety pack that has the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Year Without Santa Claus, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, and Rudolph and Frosty. Bicentennial Man, Jerry Maguire, Dennis the Menace, a Dave Chappelle comedy special, Three Ninjas, Scream,
Three Ninjas.
Scream, Firefly, Clerks 2, and Zach and Mary Make a Porno, and Birds of Prey.
Oh my gosh, Birds of Prey, the TV show?
Yes.
Oh, that one stunk really bad, but I can.
It's
it's a
amazing,
good collectible.
See,
Yeah, it's a good collectible.
That's a movie that you never thought we'd mention on this podcast is Beethoven.
No, I think we mentioned it at some point.
I've seen Beethoven.
No, the dog.
I've seen Beethoven 1 and 2 in theaters.
Wow, dude! I wasn't even able to see Home Alone in theaters. That was my first VHS ever owned. Was Home Alone, like the first Home Alone? That's the first one.
My first VHS was Ninja Turtles. My
Zach?
mom went to Family Dollar and bought a VHS player and Ninja Turtles for $20.
I saw the original in the theater. Yeah, I saw the original in the theater.
So did I.
Yeah,
I don't.
I have a because I grew up with a pastor's as a dad, and I have a very distinct memory about being in that movie because you remember when Raphael lost a sigh and they're walking in the tunnel and he looks at his son and he's like, damn. And so me as a kid, I repeat it. And my dad's sitting right there. I repeat it as soon as he says, he's like, damn. I'm like, oh, damn. And then my dad raises his hand and just slaps my thigh really hard. And I was like, oh, can't do that. Okay.
I meant the damn like water damn, Dad. Come on,
man. Zach, you don't remember your first VHS?
If I had to guess, the probably first VHS was Jurassic Park. I think I had like 4 or 5 copies of that because I ran that thing to the ground. The first DVDs I ever had was Fellowship of the Ring and Ali, the Will Smith movie.
The first
that's a good one.
The first DVDs I ever owned was The Matrix and Blade and Never Been Kissed.
Blade, let's go,
and
buddy.
Snake Eyes.
Wait, Snake Eyes with
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah. Gosh, that was a terrible movie.
I think the first VHS copy that I remember was in Christmas 2000. I got a VHS player and Big Daddy on VHS.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
That's the one that started them all.
But
was
then
Big Daddy.
But then me and you started like tape trading, and I'd give you a shit ton of movies all the time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, here's a movie with 3 I recorded tape, and it had 3 movies on it. And be like, here, Juan, enjoy. You're like, what the hell is this? And be like, oh, it's just some stuff. And that's how we were.
So, Zach, you're kind of a different physical media grabber nowadays. So instead of going and searching for something that maybe it's new, I'm going to pick it up just because it came out. What is your now thought about going and like, because you can't just go to a Best Buy anymore. You can't just go to a Target. What is your thought of going to like Walmart or like, this comes out in 2 weeks? What does it just have to be a favorite now for you to purchase it physically, or what's your thought process?
Yeah, I mean, it may be snobbish, but I mean, and I'll be the first to admit, like when I was a lot younger, I would buy every single movie I saw in the theater. Like if it was Taken, if it was Transformers, if it was
I love going to the theater, by the way. Like,
I
can understand. Yeah.
it was just something that, and some of that goes back to my health history. You know, I'm a cancer survivor, and so you couldn't you couldn't go outside, so you had to watch movies and do other things, and so that's kind of where that comes from. But now, over the years, it's really been dwindling. Like, I don't need to buy every single movie. Like Nicholas, like you said, it's
Same.
Nosferatu's on Peacock. I could watch it like that or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really got to be something like really loved
It
seeing
has
it
to
in
grab
theater.
that attention.
Yeah, and it partly because I just don't have a lot of more space anymore. But it's gotten to the point now. If it's something that I really truly love seeing in the theater, it's like became like a favorite, and I can't wait to watch it again. I'll probably buy it, like Top Gun Maverick or whatever.
Oh, dude, I can go back and watch Top Gun right now, man.
See,
But
a lot
Yeah.
of my stuff goes back to nostalgia. Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nostalgia wise, while I sit there, do I want to own it? Do I want to have it in my personal collection? Because I have a 17-year-old daughter, and just the other day, I recommended her to watch the Scream films, and she's like, "I'll give them a watch." I was like, "They're on Vudu, sweetheart," and I was like, "The only reason why I think you'd like them is because remember when I recommended The Crow and you loved it?" She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "This is another one of those type of movies that I think you'd love," and she loved The Crow.
So
Yeah, of course.
you know how I know I have an addiction?
Because you'll buy like
You buy everything.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, no,
I
you
don't buy everything.
You buy damn near everything.
I picked up Dogman earlier,
You
Oh,
should
and
have bought it.
I put it back.
But
Tyler
you
would've
picked
loved
it
that
up.
movie.
You
I
actually picked it up.
But you know how I know I have an
You
addiction
thought about it.
is because now when I go to the store or when I'm on Amazon, I'm like, oh, I don't really need that, but it's a Denzel movie, or
Oh, speaking of Denzel,
I'm like, hey, I don't really need that. Oh, but it's Den of Thieves 2. I have the first one. I need the second one.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
gosh.
look. I have every excuse in my head why I need it.
speaking of Denzel, didn't you buy a Denzel movie? You did not.
Yes.
You bought a Denzel movie you did not own over the weekend.
So yeah, I was at the thrift store and I saw this Denzel movie. I pulled it out and I'm like, it's on DVD. And if you guys are listening or watching, you know that I am a Blu-ray snob. It has to be in high definition. If I'm paying any kind of money for it, it's got to be Blu-ray or 4K. I'm not going to buy DVD. I'm not buying VHS anymore. I'm at least a good,
You're a high def guy.
I'm a high def addict.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 DVDs I own, and that is Blood In, Blood Out, because it does not have a Blu-ray release.
I'm surprised at that.
I think it's got to do with some kind of rights or something. Shout out to Damian Chapa. Go listen to our episode. We interviewed that guy. Also, now the Denzel movie, which I don't even know the name of it, but
You don't even remember what it was.
no. It's License to Kill. It's not a James Bond movie, but it's Denzel
Never had a
Washington.
Blu-ray. It
Yeah.
never had a Blu-ray release.
So
Now,
the only reason I bought it is because I'm like, oh, I have a Denzel collection. I have like all 40 of his films physically. Let me go ahead and just grab that.
now the preface.
He was gonna put it back, and I was like, "Don't you have a shit ton of Denzel movies, and this is one you're missing?" He's like, "Yeah, I should get it."
No,
Like,
guys.
yes, you should.
I've known Johnny now
get
for almost 10 plus years, and I am well aware that he won't buy Dogman, but he'll go to a Dollar General and see Killer Squid from space, and he'll buy that on Blu-ray.
Like, let me close my eyes and just pick a random movie from my shelf, and it's actually a good one. Mean Streets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Martin Scorsese.
you don't have the criterion of that yet?
That's Just My Life. And then you go just a few sections down, another good one, Menace to Society.
I've still never seen that.
Goodness gracious.
So, yeah.
Man. Okay, since you guys pulling up told just something random.
Whip it out, Nick.
Okay, this is my question because this is what happened to me one time. And whenever Blockbuster was still a thing and I was living with my dad right after his divorce, we would go rent movies. Like we just had a lot of time to kill. He was a newly single guy. I was a single guy. We were both working for cellular. It was just, one of those things. We had the same type of situation on opposite ends. So one night We rented a movie. We didn't know what it was. We recognized the actor. It was Heath Ledger. And we were like, let's just give it a shot. We almost turned it off because we were like, they don't sing "We Will Rock You" in Medieval Times. I don't know why they're doing that. And then we left it on, and it was one of the best movies we've ever seen.
A
And
Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale, baby. And there was another time we did the same thing. It was with the Will Smith movie. And we were like, okay, Will Smith, you can't go wrong with Will Smith. And we didn't know the movie, but as soon as he started having sex with a dude, we were like, no.
6 degrees of separation.
6 degrees separation, yeah. So what's a movie that you guys gone into like Blockbuster, when Blockbuster was still a thing? You picked it out because you're like, I don't know this movie, I want to try it out, and it was one of the best movies you've ever seen.
Okay. I'm going first because it's at the top of my head, and you just said Heath Ledger. I picked it because it was Heath Ledger, and it's the same guy. He had sex with a dude.
Oh, Brokeback Mountain.
But it was Brokeback Mountain. Now hold on a minute. I was thoroughly surprised at how good the story was.
Okay.
And how good Heath Ledger's performance was. I did not turn it off. I actually own it right up there.
It turned you on.
Okay.
But
Johnny, that movie turns 20 years old this year. Do you realize that?
Whoa, is it really?
It's getting a re-release in the theater too.
Ang Lee. Oh wow.
Yeah, but that was one. If I could just take it off Blockbuster shelves. Jay, what about you, real quick?
There really hasn't been any movie that, because I'm the type of person that'll read the back. I'll kind of like watch the trailers, but I'm more of a documentary fan and more of like An Evening with Kevin Smith. I can sit there and honestly say those type of movies, because hearing his stories of his life and just the things that he has done in the entertainment business. I know it seems like just the weakest answer ever. Like, you guys are finding these blockbusters and these like massive titles, and I'm like, I found An Evening with Kevin Smith, and it's like, yeah, I love Kevin Smith. Like, Clerks the cartoon is one of my favorite shows ever.
But Jay, you don't really do random like watches. You won't waste your time like that really on just like, let me randomly pick this out. You won't do that.
Well, no. Let me set the stage for you, Jay. So back when Blockbuster was a thing, did you ever just go to Blockbuster, want to choose a movie? And have you ever chosen a movie that you didn't know much about other than reading what was on, the back of the cover? And you're like, okay, I'll give this a shot.
Usually not, because I suffer from bipolar and everything.
Oh, okay.
And so I usually went with something familiar.
Got it. Okay.
Comforting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes total sense. Absolutely.
So I would go with like a Freddy movie over, just whatever.
You are the wise man. I like to say smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from other people's mistakes. You are the wise man because you didn't make the mistake that we would make in choosing a terrible movie.
Hey,
I used to watch trauma movies back in the day. Tromeo and Juliet.
Shit.
Have you ever seen that movie?
We can't talk about those kind of people on this podcast.
We can't talk about trauma. We can't talk about trauma movies. What?
Nope. I don't know who. Nope.
That crosses the line right there.
That's seriously. I used to watch shit like that.
But that's the
physical media though. Because I went okay. There you go. Tromeo and Juliet. There's one right there.
I'm not talking about Tromos on this podcast.
Tromeo.
I don't even know what you're talking about. This is way
Trauma. Okay, The Toxic Avenger.
See,
yeah,
that's
no.
The Toxic Avenger was made by a company called Troma.
I don't talk about Tromos. Oh, I thought you were talking about like an actual
Tromos. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Tromos. I'm talking about Troma. Tromeo and Juliet, like Romeo and Juliet.
I've seen
the Jack and Coke down.
Yes, I'm the fucked up one, and you guys acted like all fuck.
I've seen Nomeo and Juliet.
That was
Zach. Did you answer the question?
Do
you know anything about Trauma?
No, it's not.
You don't know anything about like Toxic Avenger.
No, I know what the Toxic Avenger is, but isn't that the company that Transformers comes out, but then you get like Transformers like a PH?
Silo.
Oh, Silo. Yeah, I feel like it's all in the same thing.
No, Trauma is Roger Corman.
Oh,
and
Jay had an issue with the substance ending.
Exactly.
I got you.
Zach?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, when I got older, I went to Blockbuster a lot more, but where I was living off of 59th, there was a Hollywood Video, and I went there
Oh,
more than
Hollywood,
Blockbuster.
yeah, I love
I
Hollywood.
love
It,
My
it doesn't
ex-wife
matter
worked
what
in
Blockbuster
Hollywood.
Hollywood, just a rental store. Like, did you just
And
Yeah.
my ex-wife used to work at Hollywood Video.
I'm more like Jay. I kind of knew exactly where, like, I already knew what I was going in. I really wasn't like looking around to see what I wanted to see. Like, I kind of
Yeah.
knew what I wanted. But the thing that pisses me off is going into these video rental stores. You know how you had the wall of new releases?
Yeah.
Depending on what time you get in there, they were all
They're
gone.
Oh,
They only had a
there.
certain
Oh,
number.
yeah.
If
I
you didn't
remember
get there by like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a
You're
Friday,
gone.
you're fucked. It's for the weekend.
And then you had to beg the clerk to say, like, "Hey, someone just brought something back. Is that what is that is?"
I
Yeah,
remember that.
Me and Nick are we're the only randoms that I guess I'll
We're willing to take a risk.
I'll take that risk. But you know what? On that risk, that's how I've seen and watched Menace to Society.
No, I'm
There
not
you
saying
go.
I have. I'm not saying I haven't taken risk on movies before, at all. I've taken a lot of risk on certain movies that I've seen,
Yeah.
but it has to. It has to have resonance in my subconscious somewhere.
Yeah.
Something primordial in me has to. The Transformer movies are shit, but something primordial in me is like, I want to see robots destroy shit. So
Yeah.
I will watch
dude,
robots. I will watch robots destroy shit. But
I
You guys want to hear a story about Michael Bay? I know this is a direct story with Glenn Morshower, because Glenn was their general in most of the Transformers movies, and he's my acting coach. He told us this story of whatever he got killed off in the first one, and then for the second one, Michael Bay's calling him like, "Hey man, it's Transformers time." He's like, "Michael, I'm dead. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Continuity's for pussies."
Well, I mean,
Michael Bay cares nothing about continuity if you watch any of his movies, like at all.
Well,
as long as
use
explosions look
footage-
cool, that's all he cares about.
Then they use footage from the what was it, the Ewan McGregor movie,
The Island, they did that for the third
Island
one.
for Transformers 2 or 3. It's like,
They
okay,
did-
whatever.
They did that for
Yeah.
the third one for the highway chase, and I distinctly remember sitting in the theater being like, "Isn't that from another? Isn't that from another movie?"
Yeah. Welcome to Michael Bay.
So before we get ready to get out of here, I wanted to ask you guys one question about one more physical media, unless anybody else has anything else that they'd like to add.
I have a couple things to add.
Jay, I feel like you always have something to add. It's okay. It's a podcast.
I think it's in his contract to have something else to say.
There you go.
Okay, before we go anywhere else on physical media, can we sit there and honestly sit there and say that the physical media formats that won were won by the porn companies?
Ooh.
Wait, what?
I don't know the numbers on that, but I have a feeling
VHS was chosen. Porn chose VHS. VHS won. Porn chose Blu-ray. Blu-ray won.
Yeah.
Porn chose streaming. Streaming won.
You're talking about like the porn industry itself.
Yes,
Sold more copies in the physical media.
Whatever physical media was coming out, meaning Betamax, VHS, Laserdisc, anything, whatever format the porn industry chose was the format winner.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about like when HD
Money-wise.
DVD came out,
Yep.
and then when Blu-ray came out, they chose the Blu-ray format, and HD DVD died.
Yep.
And whenever Betamax came out with VHS right alongside, the porn industry chose VHS, and Betamax died.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Interesting theory.
It is a very real phenomenon. Whatever format the porn industry chose was the winner.
Wow. That's sad.
Survey says.
Yeah, that's sad.
Sex for the win. But weirdly though, but Betamax had the better video quality, better sound quality, but it was easier and cheaper to produce porn on VHS than it was Betamax.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into. We can have a quick little discussion about just. Nick had brought it up earlier about, some of the copies that, like, what does physical media, like when you think about your physical media collection, whether it's 4,400 or 20, somebody has that one piece that's just like, man, I remember this. I went out on a hunt for this. So like, I can start with Zach, and then we can go round table. Like, what?
I also have another question for you, Fred, or Juan.
So like, my question would be, where does it end? Like, there's so many pieces of physical media out there now, like re-releases, still books, a 20th anniversary, a Scream Factory edition, an A24 exclusive.
Arrow.
Where does it end? And I know a lot of collectors aren't there, but are you guys, the four I'm here with, are you willing to spend like maybe an average $40 if that's the price that they end up going up to in like the next 5 years?
If it's something that I really, really, truly care about, maybe. But like I said, that it's just, I feel like unless it's like,
So let me put it this way. If the Lord of the Rings, because here's the recent 4K release, Zach, of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, if this gets another re-release,
hold on, let me get my hand in there.
if this gets another re-release, but let's say no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is if it gets another re-release, and let's say, Zach, you don't have it, is it that much of a special movie to your heart that you'll go out and spend another $80 on it?
Maybe the Lord of the Rings, but not the Hobbit. Maybe, but I have like
semantics.
But I have like the box set of like the extended editions of Lord of the Rings and the theatrical still books of So I have like both versions. So I'm like, unless a tornado comes through here.
So you just answered the question that even if it's the Lord of the Rings, it's only still a maybe. It's not a for sure thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my answer as well.
So
it's
mine I just want to have access to it. That's it. You know, if
For
I
me,
found one, like if it was an original release, because of the collectibles that I know about, I would buy it for that reason.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't buy it to like, I've got to have this because I've got.
I know this statement's going to piss you off, Johnny, but I mean, like, unless it's something that like you truly, truly care about, it really has no intrinsic value in today's world.
Not anymore.
I cut you off. You're gone. You are eliminated.
Bad hammer.
That was good.
No, hold on. That's another thing that I appreciate that you at least brought up, because even my most valued purchase, whether I take it to a local collector or whether I take it to a local store to sell as a used product,
you can't get much for it anymore.
There's no value to it, and that's
a quarter out of it, right?
That's okay to me. You know why? Because that means that it's better valued here than anywhere else.
That's true. I will give you that.
It will be valuable. Hang on to it. Wait 30 years. It will be valuable.
I mean,
in 45 years, my daughter has the
Cine-Men 5 years.
You're building like a bank account for your family.
well, no, I was going to say the complete opposite. My daughter in like 40, 50 years is going to have like a headache on her hands because she's going to be like,
she ain't gonna want none of that shit.
And she's going to be like, I don't know what to do with any of this crap.
Hey, listen,
make sure you write her a long note.
She's going to be like, what the fuck's a movie? She's going to be like, what the fuck's a movie?
Yeah,
because she's gonna be all part of those TikTok reels and shit.
Listen, you guys laugh. You guys laugh about it, but when The Last of Us happens for real, he can use those DVDs as a bartering system to get food and stuff.
Hell with that, I'll use my liquor and weed.
And hey, my kids will get into everything, but the one thing that they know not to touch are any of these little blue spined movies. They'll play with Play-Doh, chocolate. They'll make a mess out of anything, but they know not to touch.
My kids do not to fuck.
They get
severe. Oh my gosh!
They get severe corporal punishment if they touch them.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, last question I wanted to ask. Jay, did you have one more you wanted to ask?
I had one, but during the discussion, I lost it.
Oh.
You made me lose my question.
I'll start with you then, Jay. What is your most favorite piece, whether you have it or not now, What is your most favorite piece of physical media that you own?
It's actually two, and I've mentioned both of these. Actually, I'll probably say three. Actually, I know that seems like a cop out and everything like that, but these three titles mean so much to me because of what they represented in my life and my growing up. Is Batman and Batman Returns, because I took my own money as a I was 8 years old when Batman came out. I took my own money at $25 and bought my own copy of Batman on VHS. I bought my own copy of Batman Returns at 10 years old at Eckerd's Drugs for 25. It was like $25, and
I remember that.
I bought my own copy of Ninja Turtles. So those three movies right there, and not only that, The Mask as well. Shit, The Mask, because I pre-ordered that at Blockbuster. I have so many movies that I have bought that give me a sense of pleasure and gratitude, because I don't know whether it was the timing. The time I was alive, because I was a weird kid that didn't have no friends, and my only friends were these cassette tapes, and these weird people, Jim Carrey and Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Those were my friends growing up. I didn't have real friends. I had movies. Those were my friends. So I look at physical media and just things in general like that to be my
Zach?
friends that I help. Oh, well, you're just gonna cut me off. What a
Oh, my bad.
but no. I really do. I really do look at like a lot of this physical media as my friend, Brad, for real. Like if I lost physical media, I'd lose a friend.
That's why I haven't sold any.
I know you have some shit movies you could get rid of.
I don't sell friends.
I do. Up and down. No, I'll be right back.
Zach,
Instead
what
of,
about you?
instead of Toy Story, it's Blu-ray Story.
Yeah. Zach, do you have one that you just adore, and if there's a fire, you're going in and grabbing that one?
Yeah. I remember buying this after the series ended, and every time I tell people I have it, they say, "Do not sell this." I actually have the original. I got it right here. The complete series of Breaking Bad in the methylamine barrel.
Wow.
Yeah, and these are the discs, and they come out, and each one like has like a little magnetized plastic container that has like it builds like a item that was significant for that season. Like one of them is the teddy bear, one of them's the keys from the last season, one of them is the
Oh, that's cool.
just like the just the methylamine itself, like the crystallization of it. And the top, it actually comes undone, and it has like a bonus disc, has a collectible coin that came with it. And I never opened this, but it's actually a T-shirt that came with it.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Yeah,
this, I actually have the
don't
original
open that.
ticket right here from Best Buy,
Is that
$200.
Is that the one that came with the crystal blue rock candy?
Yep.
Don't.
I was looking on.
open that package. Leave it.
Oh yeah. I'm not opening it, and I went on Amazon just to see how much, and it's going for $200 right now for the whole.
Let's go for $200. Let's go for $200.
The original methylamine Breaking Bad complete series.
I love that show.
And it opens up. So
Nick, I know you don't say you collect or have
Oh
much.
no. Hey, I
but-
got physical media. I don't. I mean, I have a collector. Like I only do a collector's thing. But I mean, this is obviously physical media.
It is.
yeah, books.
We didn't talk about books. Holy shit!
Well, this is the
original physical media.
The movie that I've been in development for. It used to be called Preemptive Strike, and now it's called Beyond Sight. And I have the newer version of the book out, but this was its original version, and this is the book that I used to record the audiobook on this microphone.
Oh,
nice.
So yeah, so this is my other than my Bible, because you said if I have to go back in and grab something, I'm not letting it burn. It's going to be my Bible. Like I've got that thing marked up to the 9s.
Nice.
But this would be my second choice, just because I'm praying that one day this is a valuable piece of memorabilia with my signature on it. So
Here we go.
You get Spielberg to direct the movie, you get him to sign it, and then you got a collectible.
there you go.
I've already talked about The Godfather, but my next piece of physical media, I'm going to steal a Tom Brady answer, and I'm going to say the next one.
Oh,
Mm.
there you go.
The next one is my favorite one.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Neither do I. That's just the joy of it. That's the joy of
Oh,
physical
okay, I see
media.
what you're saying.
The next one.
No. The next one you buy. I got you. There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah,
actually.
no.
I did not follow that
No, it's
train of thought.
the next one.
Yeah, the next one he buys is the next. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
You know what
literally
I-
stumped.
Do you know what
He
I
stumped
almost
every
spent
single
30
person on this podcast.
Everybody on this podcast is like, what?
It's-
I've never heard.
Do you
of
know what
that
I almost
before.
spent $35 on the other day? A 4K copy of Demolition Man.
Oh yeah,
It's,
dude! I did a podcast where we reviewed Demolition Man. That was fun.
Oh, I love Demolition Man.
because we
Yeah.
picked it apart left and right. It was hilarious.
But yeah, it's that's the fun, the hunt, the thrill of going out. I never know what the next one's gonna be. So
Oh no,
You know
trust me. I
you
get
know
text messages saying like, "Dude, look what I found."
You know, one of my favorite places for physical media is pawn shops, bro.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
Pawn shops are one of the best because I can go in there and get a $5 PlayStation game.
hmm
Well, now that he found a Denzel movie at a thrift store, Johnny will be going to a bunch of them now.
No, hey, you can ask Craig. Craig used to be a long time advisor on this podcast. We would go pawn shopping all the time.
I would go with them.
Get out like $40 and I'd walk home with like 20, 30 movies.
Oh yeah,
Dude, that's what
we'd hit the pawn shop off the 29th, 59th, 44th. We'd hit up like 5 or 6, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Let me
Fun fact.
again randomly grab another one and see if
Are you randomly grabbing it, or you know where it's all located?
No. See, yeah.
Real Steel.
Bro,
Real
I love
deal.
that movie. I
love
love
that movie,
Just
dude.
randomly.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like Iron Man meets Rocky.
That
Yeah.
movie is amazing.
Yeah.
Fun fact: before we get out of here, does anyone know? Without looking it up, does anyone know what the first movie released on the DVD in the United States was?
Yes, The
Oh,
Matrix.
that's a good question. It was not.
No, it wasn't The Matrix.
I could
Terminator 2.
Nope.
What was it? Oh, I swore it was The Matrix.
Spider-Man.
Nope.
Is it something we would know?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Titanic.
Nope.
No. It's a Warner Brothers movie.
Warner Brothers movie.
Oh
Am
damn.
I correct? It's a Warner Brothers movie, right?
It is Warner. It is Warner Brothers. Yep.
I could have swore it was The Matrix.
Did I get it?
Nope.
I could have sworn.
What
it
do you
was The
say, Nick?
Matrix
I said
and
Jurassic Park.
Nope.
No, that's not. That's a Universal.
Oh, sorry.
Man.
Come on, give it to us. We can't get it.
The Extreme Twister.
No
shit, that's
way.
Yep.
The Matrix came out not too long afterwards.
Man.
Twister was the first movie to hit DVD on March 25th,
Mark got
1997.
that ready to go.
Hey,
like,
you
you're
know
like,
what?
Gotta have it ready.
I owned it because it was a bare bones DVD release with just a trailer on it.
Yep, just the movie, subtitles, and a trailer. That's
Man.
it.
But,
We're at an hour and a half and we still haven't even talked about all the good stuff about owning physical media, like special features compared to like
commentary.
how
You can get all that-
streaming.
You can get on
streaming-
TikTok now, dude.
Yeah, that's true too.
We could do a part 2 of the episode.
Sinners is canceled next week.
We're doing part 2 of physical media next week.
No.
Yeah.
But speaking of next week, join us. Sinners is out in theaters right now.
Haley
Michael B.
Steinfeld looked
Michael-
gorgeous in this movie.
Michael B. Jordan, and Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Go check it
Yep.
out. We're going to be talking about it next Tuesday, April the 29th. Nick, before we get out of here, where can our listeners and watchers find you at, and what do you got going on next?
Okay, so Nick's Right Podcast, just search it across any platform. You should pop right up. It should be a little cartoon logo of me and my co-host. His name is Nick as well. We're just Gen Xer and an old millennial, which is myself. We argue a lot, and it's just good to have those viral moments go out because when we argue, it's very entertaining. So you can just search Nick's Right Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
There you
Yep.
go.
Hey, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so YouTube, we're even on Rumble. I think we just opened up a Substack. So like just Nick's Right Podcast. I think X is, because they limit your characters on your username.
Yeah.
So it's just Nick's Right Pod. TikTok hates us. So we just opened up a new account where it's called Nick's Right Pod instead of Nick's Right. But yeah, just search for us across the board. Give us a follow. We're recording our 3rd episode on Friday, and it'll be right here in this apartment. So
Yeah, guys, three episodes in, and yeah, you can easily catch up. So yeah,
absolutely. It is funny. I mean, the first story that I told on our 2nd episode was how this apartment, I walked out of that door, and I walked right into a puddle of water. So
that's the name of the episode, literally.
yeah.
Walked out the door to a puddle of water. The episode.
It was fun, and of course, we do this segment where we talk about words that no one uses because Nick's a writer. I'm a producer, so I always think of the ways of trying to get more copies sold. But Nick likes to use big words like scurrilous.
What's the word? Scurrilous?
Scurrilous.
What the hell does scurrilous even mean?
That's exactly my points. And so I tell Nick that, and he's like, "Oh, half the people know what it means." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's
we don't have a thesaurus on our hands, dude. Come on."
Exactly. No. So we go through that, and we're just constantly going back and forth and arguing. It's just fun to watch because we were just getting in a yelling match today at the gym. It was hilarious. And he ended up calling me a Kamala supporter. I was like, "You better, dude. I will come across that desk."
Democrat?
He called me a Democrat. I'm not.
Oh, shit.
That's across the line.
Word.
We don't cross that line.
Words.
Exactly. So Nick's Right Podcast. Nick's Right. Just search it wherever you go.
All right.
Jay, what about you? Do you have anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I just love physical media. I love you. I love pizza. I love Mexican food.
I just ate pizza before this.
I love San Marcos. I love San Marcos. I love all of our sponsors. I love Zach and his round bald head. I want to give him a kiss next time I see him. Nick, I enjoyed having you on the show. And
you as well, bro.
Juan, I don't know. I'm just going to give you a big ass hug. We should have edibles one day.
There you go, Jay.
Different side of Jay. I didn't see Jay this side of Jay last time.
There you go, Jay. Eat some edibles and go rewatch Sinners.
Hey, I will go. I have shrooms left. I will go take some shrooms and go watch Sinners.
Oh my god.
We will go watch Sinners. I can't wait. Next Tuesday, a new episode. Sinners. We're also going to be discussing our top 5 vampire movies next Tuesday on an all new episode of the Cine-Men movie